Welcome back to another episode of the Breakup Diet. Today, you're just joined by me. It's a solo episode, and I want to speak about the unspoken rules of girl code. These are also just rules of being like a good friend or a good person, I think personally. Girl code is basically the unspoken rules between girls to do with loyalty, respect, how we treat each other, especially when it comes to friendships and dating and relationships. So I think it's really important to speak about it on the Breakup Diet because we should all be following these rules or try to be following these rules. I'm just going to speak about some of the rules or some of my thoughts to do with girl code today, but there's lots more. So let me know if you do like it because I'll give you some more, or I'll talk about it another time with you again and go deeper into each one. But here are a few, and I hope you like it. So let's get into it.
Buckle up, bitches. This is gonna get bumpy. This is the Breakup Diet.
Hi everyone. Before we get into this episode, could you please stop and subscribe to the Breakup Diet? Or if you don't want to do that, could you please give us a like or a comment, engage with it? It really means the world, and I would be forever grateful. And now, without further ado, welcome to the Breakup Diet. A big question: are your friends allowed to date your ex? And for this, I say absolutely not. I don't care if it was only a year relationship, which is a long time, or whether it was 6 years. This rule to me is like very no. The only exception is if they think that that person is 100% going to be their life partner and they're going to get married and have 7 kids. Then, okay, I think as a friend, you should go up to your friend before anything has happened and say, look, I know this isn't ideal, but I really like this person. And would you mind if I saw where it went? And obviously it's going to be a bit awkward, but I think you kind of have to put it out there and then it might be okay. But I would be prepared to lose your friendship with that person for a little bit of time at least, because that's hard. Like, it's not easy to watch your ex move on with somebody else that you don't even know. But then to see your ex move on with a friend, I couldn't even. Like, I would be so hurt. Yeah, I would be so hurt personally. But then I guess if it's been enough time and you have broken up and he's not your person, you kind of have to be like, okay, well, maybe they're better suited. And maybe they are better suited. It's tough. For the most part of that question, absolutely not. But in the small chance that they're each other's forever and they're really, really suited and it's been enough time, or they're just really, really suited, then fine, we'll allow it. But as a part of like general girl code, no. Another thing is, do you think it's okay if somebody goes, like a friend goes for your ex, if it's been like a long period of time? This depends on the ex. Number one, if it's like a situationship, no. I think if they're a really close friend, they shouldn't be going for your situationships or your ex or even a guy you've spoken to on a dating app. I don't know if that's like super controversial and maybe a bit too strong. Okay, maybe not a dating app because like everybody talks to everybody on those. But I think it does expire a little bit if they're not close friends. So like, or if it's like a situationship but nothing has really happened, I think if you've had sex with them, then no, I don't think the rule expires. I think the rule is then held up. It only is a bit of a like leeway if they're not like a close friend, and then it's still awkward. If they're like a very distant friend of a friend of a friend, fine. The rule expires. You can go there after 6 months. No, a year. Stuff that, a year. You can go there. Okay, so this girl code rule is to do with when your friend has a breakup. So you're really good friends with the girl and she has a breakup with her boyfriend. You should not be engaging with any of his social media stuff. Full stop. Don't care if that's too extreme, but like, I don't think you should be liking his stuff anymore. I don't think you should be, I don't know, sending your friend their thing, like his stuff either, because that's going to keep them stuck in the past, and you want to help your friend move on and forget about that loser. So yeah, that's my rule. If your friend goes through a breakup and you weren't friends with the boy before, you only became friends because your friend was dating him, then they have to be cut off, fully cut off. No liking, no subscribing, no commenting, get out of here. The only thing you can do as a good friend and part of girl code would be let your friend look at their Instagram from your account if they want to. It's not advice, but if they want to, you should let them do that so that their name doesn't come up on their story views or whatever. But yeah, I think it's like such a no-no if you have a friend and then they're still sending your ex memes or something. And even if you get back together and you're still in a bit of like a gray area, still then it's a bit like you can't do that. Your friends need to leave your ex alone unless you're fully back together, and then you can engage like friends again. And if you were friends with the guy beforehand, obviously, like in a breakup, you can't really, if you were friends with both of them individually, like maybe for example, you set them up and you were both equally friends with both of them, I don't think you should have to pick a side, even though that's really annoying for both parties. I think you should just try to remain Switzerland and kind of remove yourself from gossip on either side, because they're both going to be angry or hear things or whatever. You just have to be like, look, I'm happy to hang out with you. I'd love to hang out with you. I'll be there for you as much as I can, but so-and-so is also my really good friend, so I don't want to, be speaking badly of them or whatever. And then as a girl and your friend breaks up with her boy, you cannot be picking the boy's side at all. I don't care if they have valid reasons. Don't matter. Especially when your friend is vulnerable and going through the breakup and analyzing everything. You just have to sit there as a good friend and listen. And then maybe down the line, if you have something you want to say, which you shouldn't, but if you do, say it a few months down the line and then be like, look, I don't think you should have done this, or maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, if you want to say something like that. Another girl code rule is if your friend has a boyfriend over, you cannot and you should not be wearing provocative clothing. And I don't know if that's like just me thinking this, but if my boyfriend's over, do not answer the door in a bikini top. The only exception is if it's summer and you're in Saint-Tropez, Ibiza, and you're tanning by the pool and you accidentally have to get up and you're to go to the kitchen quickly and the doorbell rings and then you're the closest one to the door, you can answer the door in your bikini top. But I would also say you should probably put a towel on when you do as well. I don't know if that's controversial, but I just don't think you should be like walking around the house in the smallest outfit ever when your friend's boyfriend is around. I think that should be a part of girl code, and the girlies, you should know that, because it's just like you don't want to be showing off your whole abs or your whole boobs or your butt to your friend's man, because then like obviously he's gonna look. Shit, if I'm the girl, I'm probably gonna look, so then you don't want to be like inviting them to like sexualize you, even though I don't know if that sounds bad, but like I just think it's, as a polite thing to do for your friend, you shouldn't do it. Another thing of girl code is if you hear about your friend's man cheating, you got to tell them. And this is so hard to do and such a scary thing to do, because you don't know how your friend's going to react, really, because sometimes they don't want to hear it and they're not ready to hear it, so they don't do anything, And then other times it's obviously going to make them upset. So you don't really want to upset your friend either. But as a part of girl code, if you hear about it, or even if you hear a rumor, I think you have to try to say it in a nice way to your friend when it's not in a public place, when she's not around loads of people, when, a good timing to say it and be like, look, I've heard that so-and-so is being a little bit cheeky with this person, and be like, this person's told me, can you please try to keep calm when you say it because it might get me in trouble. Or if you don't even care, if people know that you and that person that's being cheated on are really, really good friends, then I don't even think you have to say, look, can you please, do it in a sly way when you confront him, and don't say who told you. If you're really close friends, I don't think you even need to say that, because stuff it. If somebody is dumb enough to let that secret come back to one of their close friends, then shame on you. You should have been sneakier. Because I've actually had that happen. I've had it when I've heard rumors, or I've seen like something that I kind of thought was a bit suspicious, told my close friend, and I was like, you know what? You can say that I said it. Tell them, because why would I lie about that? So that is a good friend tip, and also part of girl code. Okay, so what should somebody do if your friend runs into your ex? So say my friend has an ex and I run into them on a night out. You have to do this so well, right? This is very important. So I need you guys to listen in, because you have to act very nonchalant, very calm, very easy breezy, but then also big them up at the same time. So that it's not like a rehearsed thing, and it's not like you're trying to boost that they're so great and their life's amazing and all this, because that comes off too fake and you're trying too hard. So you have to do it in a way that's like, yeah, the girls are good. Like, oh, Vanessa is like doing super well. And oh yeah, Tiffany, she's got a new job, new man. He's really cool. But yeah, what about you guys? What's going on with you? That wasn't that good of an example, but you have to kind of keep it brief, short, hit the notes that you need to hit, and then move on. So it's not like you're taking too much time into it. You know what I mean? It has to be like a organic, like, oh yeah, they're doing super well, but yeah, whatever, next thing. Because if you come off like their life's amazing, they've got the best job, they've got a new boyfriend, he's so successful, so hot, so this, so that, then it comes off like you're trying to prove a point too much, and then you've lost. I also think if you run into your friend's ex, you should not be speaking to them for too long. It's just awkward. Even your ex's friends, his friends, I think, like, unless you have like an interest there where you want to like get with one of them or something, you should just keep all contact, all ties from their ex very minimal and like away. You don't have to be mean or nasty, but you just have to be like, yeah, I'm great, thank you, hope you're well too, bye-bye. Minimal. And also a violation of girl code on this flip side would be if that person goes up to your ex and then tells them lots of information that you wouldn't want them to know, or just feeds them lots of information in general. I think that's a violation of girl code. Unless your friend has specifically said, you need to do this and please do this, I think that's just gossipy. Keep out of it. This rule is basically when your friend is going through a breakup, or a girl that doesn't even have to be a close friend, you need to be the drunk text prevention team. You cannot let your friend text their ex, text situationships, text people drunk. You need to hide their phone, do what you got to do, tell them they can text them in the morning, if they still want to text them that. Because it is so embarrassing to wake up the next day to like hundreds of missed calls that you've given to your ex, or hundreds of text messages you've sent when you've been drunk. So as a good friend and as a part of girl code, even if it isn't your close friend, I think you should do this, is try to help them not do that. Even if you minimize them from using their phone, or you try to distract them loads with the surroundings, or you give them a little pep talk before they go home in the Uber and are likely to call them. I don't know what you have to do, but you have to do one of those to make sure they do not do that, because then in the morning they will wake up, they'll feel really crappy because they're probably hungover. Then they'll look at their phone and they'll feel even more crap and depressed and just have the biggest anxiety of their life, which you do not want them to have. I briefly mentioned this at the start, but social media with your friends' exes. Should you unfollow them or should you not? I think you should. I actually do think you should. I think you should once there's been a long period of time and they're definitely not getting back together. Then, yeah, you should unfollow them. Let them still follow you, because in case they want to look at your friend on, you know what I mean? If you post a story of your friend and they want to look at it, fine. You can keep them for that. But I would personally unfollow them, which I'm going to do, which I actually haven't done, but I'm going to start doing that now. Because I think I do have some of my friends' exes on my phone, which I don't like. I don't even look at their stuff. But I'm going to go, after this episode, I'm going to go unfollow them. But if you're not sure, maybe ask your friend what you should do, like they would want. Because sometimes if they're private or something and they want to search them up, then they might want to use that. Like they might want to use your account to then look them up, later down the line. So the absolute biggest violation of girl code is when a girl secretly likes your man. And like this is if they're like a friend, like a close friend. Obviously, it's a violation of girl code if you're like a person that's trying to invite the couple to loads of parties and being like, oh, they should come as a couple to my parties all the time. And you are like very, oh, she's so great, I'd love to meet her. And then you're trying to nab her boyfriend secretly at the same time. And then when they break up, you're like straight in on him. I think that's a violation of girl code, and there should be very, very, very bad things that happen if you do that. But if you're not really friends, yes, it's not great. But also, sometimes you can't help if you fancy someone, which isn't good. But you should, as a part of this whole thing, you should wait, which also sounds a bit gross because you're like waiting for them to be single. But you should just let time happen. And if that person becomes single, then shoot your shot once they're single. Don't act on it before they've broken up. And also a violation of girl code, which is the same sort of thing, is if you confide in your friend about, your boyfriend and you're annoyed about it and you guys are having all these fights and they're like, yeah, he's such a bad guy, you shouldn't go there. Yeah, you should dump him. Yeah, that's not okay. And then they go for him. Wow, that is bad. Now that is a jailable offense. That is a serious jail time, because that's sneaky, sly, and I don't want any part of it. I don't want to be involved in it. And people like that, if you can't get the man because you guys are meant to be together and on your own, if you have to try to poison the other party to try to get your foot in the door, absolutely no way. And probably, not even probably, you're going to get your karma. So expect that. And finally, the last bit of girl code that I want to tell you guys is all to do with breakups. So if your friend is going through a breakup, it's highly important that you just big them up. You got to try to make them feel beautiful still. You've got to give them those little comments of like, wow, you look really pretty. I love the way that you did your hair today. I love your outfit. Whatever it is, you need to try to make them feel good in their own skin, because with a breakup, you tend to lose your confidence and you become, super self-critical. So I think as a girl, as a good friend, as a decent person, you just need to big the person who's going through a breakup up and not in like too much of an obvious way of like too over the top, because that also feels forced. If they do look really good that day, be like, wow, you look so pretty today, because it's hard going through a breakup, and you can feel so just icky and gross and not yourself and lose all your confidence. So yeah, that's a little tip, and I hope you do that for any of your friends or any girl that you know that might be going through a breakup. Also, to be fair, if you know of somebody that's going through a breakup, even if they're not a really close friend and you happen to bump into them and they mention that they're going through a breakup, maybe, I don't know, send them a little message after you see them being like, it was so nice seeing you today. You really inspired me, or you really looked beautiful, or something. Just send them a little something nice. I'd love to get a coffee with you soon. That sort of thing, I think those small little things that you can do literally cost you like no time to do it, and they can make the biggest difference to a person that's hurting. It's also like, if you see another girl going through it, you just have to try to support them. You don't have to be their bestest friend ever, but you just have to show them acts of kindness. So yeah, I hope you liked my episode on girl code and how to be a good friend, basically. It's all intertwined, I think. So yeah, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the episode.